Welcome back to another brand new episode of Bishop's Breakdown, episode 31. We're going to talk Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Go Home shows. We're going to talk Clash in Italy, and we're going to talk about the night after the Clash on Monday Night Raw. We're going to do a NBA Finals preview for the game that starts tonight. And not to mention some NFL trades that were bonkers and bizarre, and we'll see where these trades stack up going into the next NFL season. So stay tuned, sit back, enjoy what I'm about to bring to your ears, because this is Bishop's Breakdown, and let's break it down. Hey everyone, it's Bishop. I got something special for you today. On the next bonus episode, I'm breaking down the top 4 teams in college basketball, giving you my insider's take and predictions you won't hear anywhere else. Plus, I'll dive into Vince Russo and John Cena's AEW talk and why he's crazy. No fluff, just straight analysis. This episode is exclusive to my Patreon supporters. For just a few bucks a month, you got bonus episodes like this, exclusive merch, and even a chance to ask me questions directly on a live Q&A session. So if you want in, join the crew now. The link will be in the description, and I'd love to have you on board and make sure you never miss the inside scoop. So break that down. Welcome back. So we're going to talk Monday Night Raw first and foremost. The Go Home show, a headline with Roman and Jacob Fatu face-to-face talking about the consequences of tribal combat. If Roman wins, Fatu has to acknowledge him and serve him, just like basically what happened with him and Jay. Or if Fatu wins, he will become the new head of the table, and Roman will have to acknowledge him and serve him. So what's going to happen, I'll let you know in a little bit, because they already happened. But, let's get to what else happened on Monday Night Raw. You got to see the Penta versus Javon Evans for the Intercontinental title match. Javon Evans, we all know he is something special. He's young, agile, athletic as all heck. But he, at the end of the match, when Penta was trying to give him dap and give him prop, it looked like he's testing the waters and maybe a heel turn. I think it's way too soon for all that. I mean, Javon Evans hasn't done anything noteworthy on the main roster to all of a sudden become heel. But I guess, why not? I mean, their heels are kind of not really there on Monday Night Raw. I mean, you got, The Miz. I mean, you really ain't got no big-time heels. Judgment Day, but headlined by Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. That's not really top tier like Drew McIntyre or Edge back in the day, or even Triple H and all that. So they need more heels, but I don't think Javon Evans is the heel they need. I got one for you. L.A. Knight. Yeah, he could be a great heel, and he's great on the mic, and all the frustrations he can just exuberate to the public, to the audience, and people will believe what he's going to say. So I think that if they want a number one heel, they got one right there. Just pull the trigger. So moving on to Friday Night SmackDown. Well, Friday Night SmackDown, if it wasn't a go-home show, it was fine. But since it was, they had 40,000 random matches that meant nothing going into the PLE. Like, not one of the matches were with competitors that's going to really do stuff on the card. I mean, there's 5 matches, and all these matches were just thrown together just to pass the time, pass the 3 hours. And that's the problem with a 3-hour SmackDown. They just put filler after filler after filler. It's like having 4 pages of good novel and then 30,000 pages of blank pages. So I don't know what they are trying to do, but they need to do something or hurry up with this 2-hour SmackDown and think about, maximize your minutes and maximize your audience attention, because pretty soon people are going to get bored and TikTok, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, football is coming back. So they need to do something to get people to stick around on Friday nights and watch wrestling. But Cody did a face-to-face with Gunther and blah, blah, blah. If you've seen one Cody promo, you've seen them all. Gunther, blah, blah, blah. So it was more the same. But let's get right into the PLE. Clash in Italy. The first PLE in Italy. So let's start off with the matches I enjoyed. Not the Gunther match, but the Brock Lesnar Obafemi match. It was a lot better, and I thought it was going to be a repeat of what he did to Kofi Kingston and giving him F5 real early, and I thought he was going to lose in like 30 seconds, but he kicked out, and took another one, and he took another one, and he took one through the table, and I thought he was dead, and then he gets back up and takes another one. 7 F5s it took to beat Obafemi. So Brock Lesnar, Obafemi are 1-1. My thoughts is they're going to do the rubber match at SummerSlam. But I'll get to what I think is going to happen to get to that point, which I don't want to happen. But I have another scenario that I feel that they should do instead. And then the tribal combat match was not really a tribal combat match. I know, they can't interfere or whatever in a street fight, and it was a match. I mean, Roman retains the title, and Jacob's going to have to acknowledge him and be his boy. And he didn't dog walk Roman like he said. He got dog walked, and now he's subservient to another man. So where do you go with Jacob? They all the people being saying like they're gonna make Jacob Fatu, they're gonna take him down, tear him down, bring him down, throw him in the basement just for him to rise like the Phoenix and become an even bigger star. But is people going to be patient enough for a year, 6 months, 10 months? Like, how long are they going to wait? I think Roman's going to lose that title before that could even happen. So Jacob's not seeing that title. Just kind of like how Jey Uso never took the title from Roman. Clearly, that was Cody Rhodes. Finish the story, if everybody remember that. So, and Sol Ruka versus Becky Lynch was a really good match as well. She didn't botch the Soul Snatcher, and she uses Becky Lynch's cockiness to take her down, and she's a new women's Intercontinental Champion. And let's see what Sol Ruka can do with that. Hopefully it's not no more open challenges, because those are played out. Do something new, get an opponent, build a storyline, so then she can have good PLE matches against worthy opponents. Maybe Lyra Valkyria is going to challenge her because she says she wants to be a fighting champion. So let's get right to that. But before that, let's go with what I really didn't understand and I don't know what they're doing. Gunther's leg was under the rope. Ref didn't see it. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes beats Gunther. And Gunther's just peed off and, trying to explain to the ref. But, the ref's decision is final. But what are we doing? What are we doing? This is supposed to be the career killer, the ring general. I thought he was just going to maybe not, win cleanly against Cody Rhodes. But I thought this is the time for Gunther to take Cody. Cody goes away for a little bit, comes back, and, gets his title shot back, and faces him at SummerSlam or something. But why even have that match, and why have this weird finish for your biggest babyface in the company to win by shenanigans? His foot was under the rope, and that the count shouldn't even started. but clearly they're going to talk about it on Friday Night SmackDown, and clearly they're going to run it back, and maybe that's when Gunther beats Cody. But he's been on the uprise, and then WWE's like, let's not keep it, let him go up and up and up. Let's bring him down a peg and then bring him. Like, why? Just pull the triggers. Pull the triggers. Do things that people don't really see coming, or if they do, at least it makes sense. I like to watch wrestling and where it makes sense. So let's talk the Raw after Clash. Jacob, Roman comes out with the Usos, and Jay's making fun of him, say, oh, he's already late. And he comes out and talks crap to Jay, and then looks at Roman and says, I acknowledge you, and gets on his hands and knees and kisses his feet and rubs his toes and say, yes, massa, I do it real quick for you, boss. And he's sitting in the back behind the Usos looking like someone shot his puppy and kicked him down the stairs and made him watch the whole scene, and he couldn't do anything about it. And it's, what are we doing? Like, what's the end goal? Is Jacob going to get fed up because Roman's going to treat him like dog crap like he did Jay so many years ago, and, can't take it no more and beats the crap out of him and gets a third title match? Then what? He's already been beat 2 straight PLEs. No one believes that Jacob Fatu, with his new, submission finisher, is going to actually beat this man. That he has what it takes to beat a Roman Reigns. So let's go to the King of the Ring, the qualifiers. You had Oba coming out, getting in the ring, getting left and right because it's Fatal 4-Ways, and he beats the crap out of everybody, still finishes his entrance and dominates, which he should, and gets on the mic and says, Brock, it's 1-1, and sooner or later we gonna run this back. And now I'm thinking Brock Lesnar's gonna cost him the King of the Ring for the next round or even in the finals. What I would do in this situation, me personally, is Obafemi wins the King of the Ring. He goes to SummerSlam. He beats Roman Reigns. Monday after SummerSlam, Brock comes out and says, I beat you, though. So you owe me a title match because I've already beaten you. You can't, and boom. But I don't know where you will have it because clearly it's going to be at a dumb pay-per-view or PLE that's not as high on the totem pole as SummerSlam. But that's not what they're going to do. That's what I would do. It makes more sense. Why would Brock Lesnar interfere in any of his matches? He beat him. It'd be the other way around if Oba wasn't in the King of the Ring tournament and Brock was, and then Oba cost him to force his hand to be like, oh, you took things from me, so you mad that you beat me or I beat you, and then you want to take this title shot, this King of the Ring tournament from me. So let's run it back, SummerSlam, boom. But since they got Oba to lose, what if they didn't want to have him in the King of the Ring? If they wanted him to interfere, Oba should have just beat Brock. And then Brock's like, damn, I can't beat him. 2 straight matches, I have to get another chance. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to force his hand and then cost him the King of the Ring tournament, and then boom. But being tied 1-1, why would Brock Lesnar even care? He already beat him. He beat him with 7 F5s. Why would he even care that he's in the King of the Ring tournament? Oba needs him in his eyes, you know what I mean? So that's what I would do. And then number 2 about the Queen of the Ring qualifier, Io Sky wins. Julia eats the pin because it was Lash Legend and Roxanne Perez in this match. They were not going to pin Lash Legend, and Roxanne Perez is in the Judgment Day hoopla. So Julia just was the odd person out, and they ain't doing nothing with her. Like she was right here on NXT, and then she just steadily declined. And now I don't think anything they could possibly do with Julia can turn things around. Like they can move her to Raw, and she still be in the same position that she was in SmackDown. They have ruined her, and I don't see anything possible that they can do to change what they have already instilled in the people, that she is a nobody. And no one cares, and no one should care. She's not a world champion. She's just an afterthought. She's below Chelsea Green. And I love Chelsea Green, but she's just a person on the roster. And she's way better. She's more talented than half the roster, and they shouldn't be doing that to Julia. But that's what they did, and I don't see a way out of this. And number two about the Queen of the Ring, why in the blue heck is Liv Morgan? Because the winner of the Queen of the Ring and the King of the Ring gets a world title match at SummerSlam. Now, if that's the case, why is your world title holder in the tournament at all? I know Liv is not going to win this tournament. My pick is Io Sky. But why even have her? Why Jordan Grace is not in the tournament? She should be in there. Like, maybe Stephanie Vaquer is still hurt, but if she's not, she should have been in there. Heck, Chelsea Green should have been in there. Maxine Dupree should have been in there. But, there's so many women on Natalia. Heck, there's so many people. Why you might as well put Rhea in there? I don't understand what is the point of having because if she wins the tournament, she's going to challenge Rhea and take both titles because, two belts live. That makes no dang sense. Nobody does that. Roman's not in the King of the Ring tournament because he's the champion. Cody's not in the King of the Ring tournament because he's the champion. Why does he need to be King of the Ring? Because he's already the guy. Being the King of the Ring is a stepping stone to be the guy. Look at the former winners. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stepping stone to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. So what does Liv gain for winning? Nothing. They said, she begged to be in it. Who cares? Tell her no. I don't understand what is the point of her being in the tournament at all. If she wins her first round matchup, I'm going to lose my mind. I can't rip my hair out because I ain't got none, but that's what I would feel like. It don't make no dang sense why in the world Liv Morgan is in this tournament. No clue at all. None. And there's so many talented women on this roster that doesn't get into the tournament because they're wasting a spot on Liv Morgan, your world champion. But that's my 2 cents on that. Hopefully they rectify the situation and the finals don't involve Liv Morgan. Hopefully Stephanie comes back and costs her that title or that matchup. But if she's well enough to be doing that, she should have been in the tournament. WWE, what are you doing? Please explain to me one of these days, what are you doing? We got a commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking NBA Finals, NFL trades, and more from this beautiful face. See you in a minute. This episode is brought to you by W Energy, the clean energy drink mix built for gamers, creators, and grinders like us. No jitters, no crash, no artificial dyes, just smooth, long-lasting focus whenever I'm breaking down WWE storylines, debating NBA, or just recording late at night. It's zero sugars, packed with vitamins and nutrients, and it actually keeps you locked in without the shaky feeling. Head to w.gg and use code Bishop's Breakdown at checkout and save 10%. So level up your energy and let's get back to the breakdown. And thanks for supporting the show. That was awesome, right? So NBA Finals, it's official. You got the Sorry, OKC fans. You got the San Antonio Spurs, the young, dominant Victor Wembanyama, the GOAT in training, the unicorn, the man that's too dang tall, 730, with the wingspan of the world. That guy, second-year player, might I add, versus the Jalen Brunson-led, cat-wearing, Spike Lee-inspired Madison Square Garden, the mecca of all professional sports, the New York Knicks. NBA Finals starts tonight. So the Knicks, they deserve to be there. They haven't lost. They've won 11 in a row since Danhausen took the curse away. Yeah, I'm still talking about Danhausen and Stephen A. Smith because they talked about it on Monday Night Raw and the history of that. So they got that on their side. But San Antonio Spurs are playing on a different level. They took it to the number 1 seed, the reigning, defending NBA champions, OKC, and the reigning 2-time MVP and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and sent them home packing in Game 7 on the road. Now they got Game 1 of the NBA Finals at home. San Antonio's going to lose their mind. And Victor, Castle, all them boys, they got nothing to lose because not that many people, honestly, picked them to be in this spot. They thought they were going to go in the playoffs, play really well, but they won't be able to have the killer instinct to take out a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder. But they did. And I don't see any way that Victor Wembanyama is not going to, A, win his first NBA championship this year, but also be the NBA Finals MVP in his second year as a professional NBA player. So my pick for this series is Spurs in 5. Yes, San Antonio Spurs, NBA champions in 5 games. My thoughts behind that, if you asked, you're welcome. The Knicks are going to steal one from San Antonio. Maybe even Game 1 because there's a lot of pressure on these young kids. But I feel Game 2, they're going to boom, 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 and gentlemen sweep. So I that's my pick. San Antonio Spurs, NBA champions. Sorry, Knicks fans, but this is not year again. But you can't even have your head down low because you had a great season. But the Spurs are playing on a whole nother level. They do have an alien in the middle of the court who can shoot threes, who can cross over people and block shots and dunk on people without jumping because he's 18 feet tall. So and then people have been bringing up this difference between celebration. You had the Knicks, dapping them each other up, like they've been there before, which they haven't. No, they weren't getting emotional. They weren't crying. And you see Victor Wembanyama and his teammates crying. Second-year player, man. He was a rookie last year. He is young, and his dream was to be in this position to be competing for an NBA championship. His whole entire life, all of them have watched it on TV, other great superstars win NBA titles. And I'm guaranteed they looked on the screen and says, one day I'll be there. And now it hit them that they are there. And the emotions just came out. They're like, oh, they haven't won nothing yet. They're going to the NBA championships, the finals. They haven't won nothing. They won the Western Conference against the reigning NBA champions. It's not like they went through and beat some nobodies to get to this point and just coasted through. They had to take out the best. They had to take out people who thought was going to be there, like the Timberwolves. They thought the Timberwolves were this is going to be their year. Ant is going to flip the switch and do his Mamba mentality and win an NBA championship. or at least get to the Western Conference Finals. The Thunder was, once he won back, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won back-to-back MVPs. The regular season was a wrap already. No one was stopping the Thunder in the regular season. They might have beat them here and there, which was the Spurs. The Spurs had their number all year long. But they had to beat them in the most dangerous possible way. 7 games. If they lost game 7, we wouldn't have this discussion. But they had to do the grit and the heart and the determination to go into OKC on a game 7 where anything could happen. The roll of the ball could go left and they lose that game. But they put their mind to it and won the game and moved on to the NBA Finals. Obviously, it will catch you in that moment and you realize, looking up at the banners of the Tim Duncans and the David Robinsons and the Ginobilis and the Tony Parkers who won titles in San Antonio, but they haven't done it in a long time. And now Victor is taking that tradition. He looks up in the crowd and see Coach Pop and see Tim Duncan sitting in the skybox looking down on him saying, "Get him, big fella, because you bringing on this tradition that we started, and now you are bringing the San Antonio Spurs to the NBA Finals." I don't see why they wouldn't be emotional, wouldn't have tears rolling down their face, because they've gotten to a point where a lot of teams have never, ever, ever been there, or if they have, they lost. They got into the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference Finals and couldn't get to the next step and get to the finals. So I don't think there's anything wrong with them showing the emotion. I think it shows that they understand how serious this moment is, and they're not going to let this pass them by, and they're going to stand there and smell the roses and say, yes, I know there's more work to be done, but right now, in this moment, I'm going to show that this means the world to me. Because they still have 4 or 5 days to get back to NBA Finals. Boom, you Knicks, me Spurs, let's do this. And that is tonight. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to keep y'all posted every step of the way. And like I said, Spurs in 5. Moving on to something I love more than anything, the NFL. We had 2 monster trades. You got Myles Garrett, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, traded to the L.A. Rams. Yeah, that L.A. Rams. You know, with Matt Stafford, the reigning defending MVP, Blake Corum. You know what I'm saying? Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. You know, that high-powered, yeah, those Rams. And now they just added Myles Garrett with a chip on his shoulder because he feels that he set the record for sacks, that he should have been playing for a championship last year. So he's going to do everything in his power to bring the Rams to the Super Bowl. And they only had to give up 4 draft picks and Jared Verse for Myles Garrett. That seems like a W because, you know, they did that before. They traded Jared Goff, 4 draft picks to get Matt Stafford, and that helped to get them a Super Bowl. So will history repeat itself? Maybe. And then A.J. Brown, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, gets traded to the New England Patriots for 2 draft picks. A.J. Brown, Drake May. I'm assuming Stephon Diggs is, he loses girl, loses kid, now he losing his job. But A.J. Brown is, I don't care what anyone says, A.J. Brown is a come up. A.J. Brown is that guy, and I'm sure he's going to show that he's still one of the best wide receivers in all of the NFL. and they're going to have to put respect on his name. But I'm going to talk about the New York Giants. I know when I say this, you still got to play the game. But on paper, look at that offense. You got Jackson Dart coming back vitalized. You got Cam Scatterbo coming back from that crazy, brutal, disgusting, cringeworthy injury where I looked like his leg was going backwards on his body. They gonna have Neighbors. He's gonna be healthy. And then Giants great Odell Beckham. I know he's not nearly the wide receiver he was 4 or 5 years ago, but he doesn't need to be in this system because they have other wide receivers like Neighbors who gets all the attention, and he can just get boom. He can get the dump offs, he can get one-on-ones, especially with Neighbors on the field. Neighbors can stay healthy. Odell Beckham's going to go and get his. Jackson Dart's going to make sure that he get his. And Scatterbo in the backfield doing the crazy stuff that he does, you can't just put 8 in the box because you got Neighbors on one side and you got Odell Beckham Jr. on the other side. The Giants could be dangerous. And their division can be weak at times. They normally beat the crap out of each other by the time the playoffs roll around. Normally only one team standing in that division because they beat each other up so bad that only one can move on. So don't be surprised if New York Giants make a big turnaround and make the playoffs this year. But right when the preseason starts, I'm gonna give you my division predictions and playoff Super Bowl contenders and matchups I think is going to happen on my too dang early to say who wins the Super Bowl. Preseason is always where it's at. So that's episode 31. We did it again. I'm your host, Bishop. This is another breakdown. I appreciate all the support. So keep with the likes. If you're not doing it, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you follow, subscribe to my channels. Hit that notification if you're on YouTube, because I be posting videos left, right, straight, narrow, back, forth. So keep eye on whatever I do, because next week I'm going to a One Piece OP16 pre-release tournament and try my hand at some One Piece trade card game and see how I do. Probably not going to win, but it's going to be a blast regardless, and I'll let you see what cards I got. I'm going to let you know my thoughts of how it went down and how One Piece trading card game is probably one of the coolest games to come out in a long time. And if you haven't heard of it or don't know about it, check out YouTube videos, go to your local card shop, try to buy some packs, join the community, learn to play the game, and just go out there and play with your locals. Try to, maybe, you never know, you might be able to qualify for regionals and go all the way to the championships. So don't sleep on this and keep the community growing bigger and better every day, because we always need more players, and it's only going to help the game stay around and have more and more and more booster packs being released and more content from Bandai to give to me, you, all the people that love One Piece. So with that being said, like a great man once said, deuces. Ooses, and I'll see you next week. Peace.